What's up, guys? We have welcome to all the mothers out there. I'm gonna try to pin my mom here so you don't have to see me. Um, okay, so yeah, mom, kind of just take it away. Like, what are you up to today? Where are you headed? We do all of our
Um,
podcasts on the road because it's easier for my mom while she's driving to be able to talk. You get so little time throughout the week. I can imagine.
um, so this morning we have feeding therapy and we have assisted communication. We just got a assisted communication device. It's an iPad and there's like Proloco to go and TDP, I think is the other one that it had four different apps. We've been trying to figure out if Millie will use one.
What's it
Um,
for?
She's super stubborn. So assisted communication. So Millie is nonverbal and she's 4 and she gets super frustrated because she can't say anything like what she wants. And so we're trying to, she has a few signs. Um, but because when I talked to the communication device, I told her she's picking up on signs and she said, well, it's really hard unless you live with a family of deaf people to do sign language because these devices are so much better. They can communicate with anybody, not just someone who knows sign language. So we're trying to get her to do it, but she's super stubborn. And so she won't even like pay attention to it yet. So I don't know. We'll see. I feel like she's got an iPad and I really am glad she has her iPad because she can interact with it in ways that she can't. Um, like for her, she can't do a lot of different things. And so it gives her this interaction. But had we not done that earlier, then maybe this device would be working faster. I don't know. I don't really know. We'll see. We're
So what
just
is it? They
barely brand
press
new.
buttons and then, or she'll press buttons and then that'll like it'll speak it or
Speak for
something.
her. Yeah. So the idea is that she would be able to eventually talk to us in that way. Like, I want my movie. I want you to change this. I need to go to the bathroom. Like those kind of things. Um, so right now we did get the other day we got her she had it on and we turned on her cartoons and we had a page open that says I want so Millie watches about three things. She watches now there's four. She watches Dora, Encanto, Little Mermaid, and Elementals. And sometimes Moana. And so we put those on the screen and
And
says,
John
I
Wick.
want to watch. Well, I don't know. That's only when she's being naughty on her iPad. I can't figure out how she gets to that. Um, anyway, and um, so she said, like, she started out and we kind of thought, oh, this is working. Like, she said, I want Dora. And then she hit Dora like 1,500 times, like, Dora, 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 Dora. And we're like, okay. So we turned Dora on and she watched Dora for about 5 minutes. And then she hit the button, I want Moana. And then it was like Moana, 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 Moana. And so we changed it to Moana. And then like 5 or 10 minutes, and then she wanted elementals, and then she did that for like she just keeps hitting it. So I mean, it's possible that that was her like I mean that's a pretty typical 4-year-old thing. Like I want to watch this, then this, then this, right? So it's not like an atypical response.
Did she feel like she was like when you changed the show to the specific one that she was pressing like she understood and that's what she wanted?
Yeah, so I think so because she watched it for about 5 minutes before she like wanted to turn. to turn on to another one. So I think so. I mean, but that's like we worked for, she really likes books too. So we worked for like, my husband worked with her and I worked with her for like a whole week on just pushing turn the page when she wanted us to turn the page in the book. And she was so irritated with us because she's like, listen, I can just turn the page by myself. I don't need to tell you to turn the page. So she wasn't into that one at all. So I don't know if anyone out there has tips on how to like teach this, especially to somebody who we're not quite sure like what her cognitive ability is, because if you were to see her play with her iPad, you would think she was really, really super like cognitively able, because she knows where all the applications are. She knows where her games are. She actually has learned to turn a movie on and put it in a square box while she plays her game. And this is with no one teaching her anything. So she will go to Prime, pick Dora, put it in a little box, and then she'll put speech blubs on and play her alphabet game while she watches the movie. So I don't know like what her capacity is. And so it feels to me like this is something she should be able to learn, but I don't really know how to teach it to her. Anyway, so that's what we're doing today. So we have that appointment and then we have feeding. And I was just telling Jackson before we started, I forgot her braces and her shoes. So she can't go in her walker. I'm going to have to carry her to all of her appointments today. And I didn't bring a stroller. Usually I have a backup stroller in the back. And I think we took it out for the Halloween party. And so I'm gonna have to carry her. And I forgot the food. So the feeding therapist is gonna be like, you're supposed to bring food. She doesn't really eat anything at feeding. She does little kind of taste. Like we're talking the most minimum taste. I don't know how much longer we'll probably go to feeding therapy. I don't think this is something that's happening, which is, I don't know. They kind of described it to me like, Millie has never eaten, so we know what she's missing, but she doesn't really know what she's missing. And like, are we pushing it because we think that she should eat? I mean, mostly I feel like I'm pushing it because I'd really, really like her to swallow. I think that if we could figure out how to get her to start swallowing more often, it would put her out of danger and for a lot of different things that we deal with. So that's kind of my big, big reason for wanting this. Yeah. So I don't know. So those are the two appointments we have. I forgot a bunch of stuff. I was gonna turn around, but we'll be late for everything. So I guess I will carry her. She's getting big. So not the greatest situation for me to be carrying her, but that's what we got. You got to deal with what you got. And we're not going to the hospital where they have little wheelchairs at the hospital. So this is like a separate spot. So we gotta do what we gotta do, I guess.
And you drive, how far do you drive in every day for these appointments?
So today it's not as far as, so at the hospital for our appointments. We're Millie's going to have surgery. We're trying to get it all scheduled. Everybody's trying to get on the list. So that is about 35 miles. So it's about an hour. Because usually we're going in the morning during traffic. So that appointment takes me about an hour to get to. And we probably go there once a week. I would say there's usually some sort of specialist that wants to see her. Maybe we'll get a week or two off of specialists. And then, but as far as today, we go to this place. We used to go twice a week and now we're just going once. And this place is, I would say like 25 miles from the house. Maybe less, maybe 20. miles from the house, so it's not as bad. So I usually, if I plan a half an hour, which, I used to be like really on the ball and we were out, but it has been crazy. She fell asleep and I just got, I don't know, I got moving slow or something. So we made it barely out with half an hour, and it says we're going to get there at 9:58, which is 2 minutes to get out of the car and get us. But now she doesn't have to get her walker out. So I guess I'll just pick her up and go. She's not going to like that for her therapy appointments because she likes to walk around the rooms. But
So how do you keep track
um,
of all your appointments and times? And
so
seems
I
like a
use
lot.
Google.
You also have six other children.
I do have six other kids, and we have a wedding going on. So I've been making wedding invitations. My daughter picked out a wedding invitation that was like, I don't know, $17 an invitation or something ridiculous, and 400 invitations. That was an impossible thing. So I made them. I figured out how to make them. They're pretty cute. And they look really, really almost identical. So we got all the stuff, and I've been printing those out. Um, so a calendar, Google Calendar, or no, it's not even the Google Calendar, it's the Apple Calendar. And that is my lifeline. If something is not in it, it doesn't exist, like in my brain or in my mind. And so every night before I go to bed, I open the Google Calendar. I don't know why I keep saying Google Calendar. I should use that one because that one actually posts to like my refrigerator, which would be better. Um, but I put all the addresses in when I add whatever the appointment is. And I know that sounds so silly because like I go to these places all the time, but it'll get crazy in the morning and I'll forget which places. Oh, that's not where I'm going. Sorry, dude. Sorry. Our next one. Um, I It'll get crazy in the morning. I'll forget which place I'm going to. And so I just open up my calendar when I get in the car and I click on it and it tells me, it just starts the route. And as soon as I've started the route, then I know where I'm going. Um, but that's really been an important thing. And it seems so silly that I have to like click on the address of where I'm going. But because I'm going to different places, um, because I'm going to different places for different things so often, that's just the way that I've made it work in my mind. So those things are all in my calendar, including all the things for my other kids. So like if we have football, as soon as I hear about football, I put it in, put the location so that whenever I get in the car, I can just look at my calendar where I'm going and click it. So my calendar is irreplaceable. Um, so at night, like I said, I look at my calendar and I also go to my chart, which is if you're not in Idaho, I'm sure it's called something else, but it's an online place where all my doctors communicate with me. So all of the doctors, like we have a list of, whatever the 10 doctors are that she has, and they all communicate through messages. And anytime any visits are added, it will be on there, or visits are requested, it will be there. So I can say like say this eye appointment that happened yesterday, the night before I got a request and I accepted it and then added it to my calendar. So that's really what I do, is just make sure that my calendar is completely up to date. But I do have to check it every night to look for, and then I always tell my kids every time they tell me something, I'm like, just text it to me. Just text me what it is. And that way, when I'm looking at the text, and my husband too, like when I'm looking at the text, I can add it to the calendar, and that way I keep myself on track. So, and then the Notes app is like, it is my all-time app. I use it for like, as far as the wedding, I do use it for the wedding and for like stuff like for this surgery that Millie's going to have, I'll use a Google Sheet. So I'll have a list of the doctors that are coming. So she's going to have eye surgery. And then she's going to have her teeth cleaned, an MRI, and then the audiologist is going to do a more extensive test on her hearing. And so what I'll do in the Google Sheets is put the doctors, what they're doing, and what kind of the instructions that they've given me for afterwards. And then I'll put everything on there. So like when I open like the wedding stuff, it has everything that I need to do and a checklist. And so those are the three things that I really use is, definitely the Google Sheets, for like things that are more processy, like they take more steps, and then the app and my chart for just what we do daily. And so I also put in, we have home visits. So like tomorrow we'll have 2 home visits. And I will put those are all in the calendar also. So I get a little ding like 10 minutes before the therapist shows up to just remind me to like not to be in the bath or whatever, like so that we are ready for therapy. The house is like ready for the area that they're going to use it, that she's in her walker or stander or her activity chair, depending on like, what I think she's going to use. So anyway, hopefully that's enough for today because I just got here and I got to run in.
All right.
All
Sounds
right.
good. Well, I'll talk to you later.
All right.
See
Love
ya.
you.
Love you too.